So welcome everyone to this short webinar today. We are going to talk about rank order list primarily for those of you who have gone into the match. And then our VP of Marketing, Swati, is also around, and she can also guide you to the links or other resources that you may find useful. In terms of some of the other housekeeping, you should all have access to the chat box. You can ask questions in the chat box, and I'll have some time, to talk about your questions as well. But primarily, we want to talk about rank order list, right? So, as I mentioned before, and some of our previous webinars, the ERAs and the NRMP are two separate organizations. You should all know it. And to get into the rank order list, to rank the programs, you will need to register with the NRMP. And I think the early registration is the day after tomorrow, January 31st. After that, there is an additional expense or additional fee you have to pay to register. So make sure to register with NRMP if you have to rank programs. Rank order list will open also 1st of next month, so in about 3 days. The first important thing you need to know is the rank order certification deadline is March 1st, and this is the deadline for both the programs and the applicant. So a lot of times we get this question, when is the program's deadline? The program deadline is also March 1st. What does that mean? That means that programs can actually change their rank order list till March 1st. And anything and everything you do in terms of program outreach, in terms of sending them an update on, say, your step 3 or your publications, can make a difference. So don't leave the race now. Don't think that everything is done. Every year there are programs that are going to be interviewing on March 1st. So you may find it surprising, but there are programs, there may be new programs who just got accredited or some last minute issues. So programs can actually interview till the last day as long as they certify by 9 p.m. on March 1st. So remember that. Then, of course, the other big day is March 13, which is the Monday, and that's where you will know if you have matched or not. And then the SOAP starts, the supplemental offer and acceptance program for the next 3 days. So we'll have a separate webinar on SOAP and how you can approach SOAP. But let's talk about the rank order list deadline. Now, of course, in our last webinar, we did talk about letter of intent. So if you have any questions, either go back to that webinar or I can take the letter of intent questions here. So let's move on to the rank order list. So the other important thing applicants should know is the rank order list favors the applicant. The algorithm favors the applicant. So always rank the programs in the order where you want to go. Don't worry about whether your interview went well or did not go well. If you have an interview invite from, say, Harvard or Cleveland Clinic or Mayo Clinic, and you want to go there, then of course those programs have to be ranked higher. Again, don't worry about how the programs will rank you, or don't think that program is not going to rank me. We have a lot of questions always asking, that's a AMG program. Why will they rank me? I don't know how I got the interview. Don't worry about those things. You rank the program in the order you want to go. In terms of the factors that are considered for the rank order list by many IMGs, we have a blog, and our Swati can point you to that blog in the chat. But primarily, most of the times what we have seen, and I'm going to outline some of these factors. If you are a Sarthi student, you can actually use a tool that we have that'll also quantify some of these factors. But most of the factors, one is the university versus community program. So many students, for good reasons, like to place university programs above community programs. Related reason is the career path of the recent graduate. So where have the recent graduate gone? So if a program is very strong in the community, primary care, and a lot of you want to go there, so you can consider that. There are programs which are strong on fellowship, and if you are interested in fellowship, that's another factor. The in-house fellowship, if they have in-house fellowship, maybe you want to rank them higher. Now, the trick, of course, is the in-house fellowships should be in the specialty that you're interested in. A lot of times, maybe you're interested in GI, hemo, cardiology, but the program does not have that fellowship in-house, or the fellowship match rate from that program for that fellowship of interest is not that great. So something you need to consider as well. Then, of course, geographic location is one aspect. It may be because you have family in that particular region, in that city. It may be you want to stay on the East Coast, etc. So geography can play a role. Although we typically tell our students that geography should be one of the lower criteria as you rank the program. Cost of living can tend to be another factor. So obviously, New York is more expensive, for example, as compared to, say, Arkansas or Arizona. So consider that, but also remember that most programs will normalize the cost of living. As in a New York program, your stipend, your salary will be higher than, say, typically in Arkansas or Arizona or some of the lower cost of living areas. So again, go over that webinar, the blog that we have that can give you more information about the rank order list process. Let me cover a couple of more points, and then of course we can talk about any questions that you may have. So some of the guidelines, of course, if you rank a program where you have not interviewed, you're not going to get matched. Of course, let's say you rank Hopkins, but you haven't really interviewed. The program is not going to rank you. So you will not match at Hopkins. Understand that also that match is a binding contract. So you really have to rank the programs where you can go, or at least in the order of that priority. So if you want to go to a program, rank it higher. If you would really not want to go to a program, or that's your kind of last priority, rank it at the lowest. Don't assume that you can rank a program, a lower program, higher, and if you match, then you can negotiate your way out of that contract. That's not going to happen. The other thing, of course, some of you may hit this. There is a limit to ranking programs, like for up to 20 programs, you can rank without any additional fee. Many of our students hit that limit. After 20 programs, you will have to pay. So, but of course, if you have 20 interviews, you should be in a very sweet spot. You can keep changing your rank order list till the last day, and you can certify. So you have to certify. That is the important thing to understand. Without certification, it is not considered complete. And if you don't certify it, you won't be considered for the rank order list. So the other thing you have to understand is rank order list only determines where you go, right? It doesn't really determine if you match, because for you to match, not only your rank order list, but also the program's rank order list has to align. And again, we have a couple of blogs on how the NRMP algorithm works. That's not scope of this webinar, but if you have a question on the NRMP algorithm, I am happy to take. But go over that blog if you are interested in knowing how the NRMP algorithm works. So 20 programs, up to 20 programs, it doesn't cost you anything. Some of the related questions, and we have some videos on the rank order list also, is what factors do programs consider for ranking applicants? Programs, there is enough of NRMP data, and even in our webinar with the Hackensack PD, Dr. Atut, we went over some of those factors, whether it is, once you have the interview, of course, whether it's the interaction with the program director, your interpersonal skills, your letter of recommendations, your documented interest in research, interest in the program, all those factor into how a program will rank you. Okay, so that's pretty much it, what I wanted to cover in the rank order list overview. And like I said, there are many videos that we have, a blog that explains all of it. But I wanted to have this webinar more on the Q&A and see what questions you might have on the rank order list. Of course, like I said, if you are a Sarthi student, you should use our tool, which is available to you. The first important question that is coming up, I am reading it. Does the program wait till March to certify as well? This is up to the program. You don't know. Most programs, will start having these meetings next month and could actually certify by middle of next month, so 15th Feb. But there's nothing to stop them. It can keep changing. You don't know, therefore don't give up your efforts, whether it is the letter of intent or program outreach, because you will not know what day they have certified. There's no timestamp that you will see. Okay. Then let's see some of the other questions. Let me go to the top. So go over those blogs that Swati is pushing out, and that can help you. Can you also place the link for a letter of intent webinar? So this was the last webinar. So Swati, if you can give the YouTube link to the last webinar that we had. So thank you. And let me see. So let's see. Then another important question. I had only one interview. Should I put only this program on my ranking list? And the answer is yes, because like I mentioned, even if you put other programs on the rank order list, those programs will not rank you because they don't know that you exist. They will not have you in on their list. However, you know, there's still 1 month to go. You may get more interviews. Next question, do they consider year of graduation and scores while ranking candidates? So understand that your entire portfolio can be considered, whether it is scores, whether it's year of graduation, whether it is your USCE, whether it's your research. They have different weights to different criteria. Again, Swati can point you to some of the YouTube videos that we have. But the good thing is the YOG is typically a very soft criteria. So that weightage is lower. I think about it in this way. The interview performance is very highly weighted. And then, of course, it comes down to your scores, how active you were clinically, how much interest did you show in the program, your ties to the program, all those kind of things. But yes, YOG and scores can make it to their criteria for sure. Any links for SOAP? Yes, we do have our blogs on SOAP, and Swati can point you to that. There's an extensive list. I didn't want to cover SOAP so early. SOAP will start March 13th. So maybe our next webinar in a couple of weeks, we will talk about SOAP as well. So there is a question about application. So assuming you're talking about next season's application, the deadline is usually in September. Until the program start, is it possible for us to keep adding to our CVs, or is there a deal done once submitted? So it's a good question. Looks like you are going to be applying Dua in the next season. So the ERA CV does not change, cannot change once you submit the ERA CV, which is middle of September. And then, of course, any updates you do, you have to reach out to the programs separately. We will talk about in this webinar about those of you who are applying for the next season. So, for example, we have recently started a combo program about bridge to residency. So this we are offering rotations, research. So 3 rotations, 4 LORs, research, and also our ERAS, PS, CV package, interview prep. So maybe you want to look at that as well. Just to clarify, even after certifying, we can change and recertify. Yes, till March 1st, you can do everything, not after that. And as Swati has mentioned, for those of you going into the match next season, we have free profile reviews. So take advantage of that. We can help you, tell you, no obligation on what you should be doing as you prepare for the next season. Follow this link, set up a meeting with us. Tejal is asking, should we give preference to a program over another for the sake of H-1B visa? A very important question, I think. Again, there are a couple of videos we have with our attorney, and we are going over the H-1B. Good question. So I think the way to rank H-1B program is to look at what your goals are post-residency. So if you are going to go into primary care, I think H-1B is a very good visa to have. If you are going to go into, say, GI or HEMONC or cardiology, those fellowships are very, very hard to get on H-1B. So that, I think, is a factor that you have to consider. If you don't know what you're going to do, then I think H-1B is a good visa. If you really, really want to get into one of the competitive fellowships in internal medicine, then I think you have to go by the fellowship first and visa second. Let's see. Can we send letter of intent to all programs we interview to be on the safe side? So that is a good question, letter of intent. Now, the idea behind letter of intent is you really are interested in the program and you really want to match there. That's the AMG idea. I won't say that IMGs send it to only one program. IMGs send it to multiple programs. I think the programs, they don't talk with each other. So there is no way a program can find out whether you have sent letter of intent to all programs. However, it is true that if the program really wants to rank you, if you send the LOI to them and you don't match there, then of course program gets to know of it. Whether it impacts your fellowship matching, possibly. I mean, it's a small world. That's something you need to decide. Does the number of residency position in a program also play a role in ranking? Again, a good question. I like the way you guys are asking questions. The answer is, from your perspective, it should not matter. Again, don't worry about what the program does. You got to worry about what you do. Let's say a program has one spot. Let's say you want to match there. Just rank it higher. Don't worry about what the program thinks. Yes, with one spot, it will be very hard to get into the program, and the program may rank only maybe 20 students if there is one spot, but you don't have to worry about that. If you want to go there, rank it higher. Those programs who are not participating in NRMP match should be ranked or not. If they are not participating in the NRMP match, you will not be able to rank them. These are the pre-match programs. They will not show up on the NRMP match. Let's see. Does it matter what kind of clinical experiences we gain? Is it advantageous to find something to contact instead of agencies? So again, a question for the next season, a good question. I think when it comes to the US clinical experience, you have to follow, if you can get it in inpatient experience, say with a program director in a residency program, that is very high. And we do have some of those. The next should be affiliated clinics. So if you are looking through your contacts, go to affiliated clinics because the letterhead also matters. Private clinic with no affiliations, those LORs don't really matter. Whether you go through agencies or not, it's mostly a cost issue. For example, many agencies charge higher. We pride ourselves in charging lower fee because you pay the physicians directly. So there are all those kind of things that you can look for. But the letterhead matters, the affiliation definitely matters. Next question, program said they doesn't sponsor J1. If I place it on the top rank list and get selected somehow, do I get to face any visa issues? If the program said they do not sponsor J1 visa, I don't know if they said they will sponsor H1, you should get in touch with them because J1 is sponsored by ECFMG. So clarify with the program, if they are not in a visa sponsoring or accepting mode, there may be some confusion and you may face a lot of issues after you match. So just get in touch with them first, but because you don't want a situation where the program has not considered your visa status. Eventually, they may figure something else out, but best to go reach out to them. All right, let's see what other questions. I'm now going into the Q&A chat box. Is it appropriate to reach out to the PDs and frankly say that we will rank them first? Yes, of course. That is the intent of the letter, the intent of the letter of intent. Yes, you can tell them you will rank them first. Yes, frankly. If I apply to prelim and categorical in the same program, so should I put those entries in the rank order list? Yes, you can, you should, and you will find out. What is considered a violation of the regulation in terms of communication with the program? So the violation aspect typically will come on only in the SOAP. At this time, which is not SOAP, there is no general violation. The only thing is if the program has told you, do not get in touch with us, there is no communication post-interview, don't communicate with them. You know, that's the ability to follow directions that is more important. When is the best time to send that you are my number one choice email? I think anytime now, the next week, 10 days is a good time. Look at that webinar on letter of intent that we have. Does the number of residency position in a program also play a role in ranking? I think I answered that. Can I combine the thank you letter and letter of intent if I recently finished my interview? That is not generally recommended. I think the thank you is some kind of a courtesy. You should send it within 24 to 48 hours. Letter of intent should be separate. So don't short circuit the process. Let's see what other questions. So Moksh is asking, I think I answered this question. Should we rank a program higher even if we feel interview did not go well, but it's a good program? Yes, yes, and yes. If you want to go there, rank it higher, keep it simple. How important are research experiences, clinical experiences, if the STEP scores are stellar? I don't know what you mean by stellar. Different specialties have different definition of stellar. It also depends on your year of graduation. So that's entire portfolio. I think if you can do research, you should do it. US clinical experience is very, very important. Without 3 to 4 USCE and now on-site mostly, you will not be able to match. So it is one of the most important things. Is it a good move if we ask the residents who we met on the resident meet and greet to ask for referral? If you know them, ask for a referral, and maybe, yes, they can put you higher on, help you put higher on the list. So that's fine. Should I send letter of intent to a program that is against post-interview communication? Don't send it to them if they've said no communication. How many times can we send LOI if do not get a reply? You will hardly get a reply from letter of intent. Even if you get a reply, I don't think you should read too much into it. Letter of intent is sent only once. Can I apply to next match with my step 1 CK results? Because I may not be ECFMG certified. It depends on your profile. Set up a profile review with us and we can tell you what your chances are, year of graduation and all those we need to see. And yes, we do have, of course, a Telegram group, open group, for which all of you can join if you are interested and applying to the match next season. Can we expect interviews even now? Cancellation interviews can be expected. If you do not have enough number of interviews, you don't lose much by sending letter of interest. Is clinical experience for 2 weeks good enough? Unfortunately, the answer is no. I have spoken to a lot of PDs and they say that 4 weeks is the minimum that they consider. Now, of course, if you've been working in the same hospital program, etc., in research, maybe a 2-week experience will be enough. But in general, less than 4 weeks per LOR is not worth it. Can you tell me more about transitional year? Is it good to take it and apply for it? I don't understand the question. When you say it is good to take it, means you've already interviewed. If you're talking about next season, we will tell you some blogs about the transitional years. But transitional years are typically 1-year residency programs that prepare you for advanced specialties. It could be in primary care, neurology, or it could be surgical residencies. If I get a cancellation interview, is it a spot filler or can it be considered a genuine interview? You have nothing to lose. Consider it as a genuine interview. And yes, it can go higher on your list if it's a program where you want to match. So absolutely, these things, an interview is an interview, right? So don't worry about whether it's a filler or not. You go ahead and do your best. If I was ranked 20th and the program needs 4 positions only, is my chance good or no? I don't know what you mean by you were ranked 20th. You will never know where the program ranked you. If they have 4 positions, it depends on how their rank order list moves. And the chances are very hard to say. It just depends. If it's a university program, you're not probably going to get it because 4 positions will likely fill up in the first 10. If it's a community program, it depends on so many other factors. So hard to say if the program ranked you 20 and they have 4 spots, whether you'll make it or not. You won't be able to know this. All right. I think those were the questions I saw. So thank you very much. Let me see if there are other questions. there are no silly questions, but the question is, does your address make a difference to the programs while ranking you? Absolutely can make a difference. Why not? Every program looks for local candidates or those who have ties to the region. That's why we keep saying when it comes to USCE, make sure you do USCE in different parts of the US, East Coast, Midwest, so on and so forth. It can make a difference. Okay. So I think those are the questions I saw. Again, for those of you applying for the next season, we are now open. So look at the clinical rotations. We have several rotations with program directors, inpatient as well as outpatient. We have research opportunities. We have, of course, our match plans where we pair you up with physicians as part of our platinum, gold plans, and there's a bridge plan that may also be very useful to you. Is it better to take match plan now or later for 2023 September season? Depends on where you are in your match journey. If you have taken at least one step, I think this is always a good time to take the plans, because you have 9 months. We can work with you on what type of rotation you need, where you need, type of research, and the entire match plan strategy we can start with now. You can join later as well, but the later you join, the harder it is to actually work with your profile. How many interviews are good enough this season to get matched? Typically, if you are our student and you've gone through all our interview prep classes, etc., in internal medicine, 3 is a good number. Otherwise, if you look at the NRMP data in internal medicine, it's 6 to 7. All right, I will keep the window open so you can grab the links. Good luck for your upcoming rank order list or SOAP, or there's still 1 month left in the season. For those of you interested in the Sarthi programs, get in touch. The question is, can you provide any promo code for the match plan? Email contact@usmlesarthi.com. We will see what promotions are ongoing. I frankly don't remember. There is a group discount that we typically run. There are other promos. So if you send an email, we can tell you what promotions are going. Contact, CONTACT, contact@usmlesarthi.com. If you ranked a program 5th place and other who ranked that program 1 to 4 place, they have a higher chance to get selected there? The answer is yes. If you ranked a program 5, I ranked the same program first, the match algorithm will first look at my priority. Assuming the program also ranked me, I will get in, and then the program or the algorithm will come to you. How to maneuver multiple specialties in rank order list? There is nothing you can do to maneuver multiple specialties. The rank order list goes by program. So let's say you have a John Hopkins family medicine, Cleveland Clinic internal medicine. They all have their NRMP ID, which are different. Whatever you put first will be considered first. So it depends on your interest. All right, that was all. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep this window open, and you can grab the links, and we'll see you in the next webinar. And if you're interested, join our match plans rotations research. Thank you.